The moment we have all been waiting for has arrived. Nvidia announces their earnings tonight. Jim Cramer compared Nvidia to Shakespeare's Sylvia for its uncommon beauty and power. He highlights Nvidia's innovative platform that uses AI and generates answers based on data, specifically mentioning the Cuda computing platform and high-end chips. However, he's concerned about tonight's quarterly report, as the stock has run high into the quarter, and many investors may not fully understand Nvidia's capabilities beyond being a fast semiconductor company. He emphasizes the importance of earnings per share and revenue forecasts, but notes that Nvidia's technology cannot be judged like any other company based on a single quarterly snapshot.
In all my 43 years on Wall Street, that's right here, 43 years, I have never seen anything like Nvidia. So I scrounge for analogs and come up grasping for something ethereal to match the ardor of this wonderful company. This $3.2 trillion enterprise, worth $580 billion just 18 months ago, has captured the hearts and minds of people who have nothing to do with the stock market at all. I've never seen so many people have a life-changing experience from a single stock. It's borderline miraculous. But tomorrow at this time, Nvidia stock will descend into mere mortality. So I feel compelled to explain why Nvidia has this exalted status and why it, frankly, can never live up to the hype of its $3.2 trillion market cap, purely on the basis of one upcoming quarterly report. Why? Because in the end, the quarter's about Nvidia beating the earnings estimates, topping the revenue numbers, and crushing the forecast. The stock has run so much into the quarter that it needs a $2 billion revenue beat. It also needs the revenue guidance to come in $2 billion higher than expected, along with a bullish conference call that talks about a multi-year roadmap. Oh, and let's throw in a gigantic buyback because the company simply got too much cash to leave sitting in the bank. Unfortunately, Nvidia, like Sylvia, simply can't be captured by such a pedestrian set of figures. It's almost a travesty that this Prometheus can be bound by the chains of the estimates. What's the problem here? First, let me just say that the vast majority of people who own Nvidia probably don't even know what Nvidia does. They know it's a semiconductor company, which is really only partially true. They know its chips are lightning fast, but they don't know why that matters. They know it has something to do with artificial intelligence, but maybe it's better than real intelligence? Nvidia has actually created an entire platform of hardware and software that's trained to give answers and infer what you may need depending on the task. Nvidia has the fastest chips known to man or woman, and because they're so fast, they can digest all the information in the world, then spit it back in a smart, digestible way. A knowledge worker can prosecute that data and figure out things that were unfigure-outable before Nvidia dreamed up this business. You've used artificial intelligence if you've ever taken a recommendation from Amazon. That's called inference. Amazon puts all your data through this technology, so it'll almost always be right because it mimics your brain. Generative AI, the kind that heavily relies on NVIDIA's technology, is artificial intelligence on steroids. It generates new content, often via text. Think ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, or Meta AI. It also creates images that look like they were made by a human. It can write music better than pretty much any living composer. Other companies, notably AMD, have chips that can do a lot of what NVIDIA can do, but NVIDIA has a big edge thanks to its Cuda, C-U-D-A, computing platform, combined with its high-end chips, which allow smart developers to write code. It's a virtuous cycle, people. The more training, the more writing, and so forth and so on. NVIDIA's architecture allows simultaneous calculations that can mimic real humans. An NVIDIA-powered set of GPUs that are part of the next-generation Blackwell chip can digest Moby Dick in an instant and tell you more about it than the average English professor, or even the best English professor. There's nothing like this. That's the story told in the language of authentic Silicon Valley gibberish. Let me tell you what's really going on here, though. Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, has created a platform that's unduplicated by anyone else, both for its speed and for its utility. The new platform, Blackwell, can ingest images and teach us how to do things that we'll never be able to do without its assistance. Well, let's consider a simple example. No pitcher, no matter how good, not Sandy Koufax, Switchy Matheson, not Bob Gibson, not Cy Young, could strike out every player while pitching a perfect game, right? But a robot supercharged by NVIDIA's Blackwell platform would have studied every pitch and every swing ever, programming itself to throw an unhittable ball every time, generates that. A game where every batter strikes out would be child's play for the robot. At the same time, a robot could study every drink ever poured for James Bond and make a perfect martini every time. In more prosaic terms, it could load and retrieve boxes perfectly, never getting hurt when they fall. Maybe it can't make every one of the 3 billion drink combinations at Starbucks, but I think that's asking too much even for a genius like Jensen Huang. But you can see that Blackwell is basically challenging not the sound barrier, but the speed of light, even as we are taught that nothing can exceed light's performance. I think our own brains are just too small too small to figure out all the implications. Fortunately, Jensen's brain isn't, and he knows the throughput, enough about future iterations of this platform that could make Blackwell look positively antediluvian in a few years' time when he comes up with the next iteration, then the next iteration after that. Again, we can't know how all this computing power will be used, but it's definitely going to get put to work, and I bet it'll be revolutionary. But that's the problem. We don't know how to use all the power, at least not yet. So we don't know how to comprehend how much of a game changer NVIDIA chips will be in the future. But just because we can't envision it doesn't mean we won't be able to use it. We do know, though, that in the end, this greatness must be captured by the chains of earnings per share and revenue forecast, which is what will happen tomorrow evening. Why aren't I more concerned? Because every major company, from Meta to Google to Amazon and Microsoft, wants NVIDIA's best chips. They want them because they have smart people who will be able to figure out what to do with them. In the same way that Sam Altman of OpenAI figured out how to use ChatGPT to create everything from haiku to music to paintings. Picasso, Cézanne, and Matisse, they're no longer with us. But we can see what they would paint. Mozart and Beethoven checked out ages ago, but I could see Blackwell writing the Saturn Symphony to go with Mozart's beautiful Jupiter number. Or maybe we could all, last year, Beethoven's 10th. I can't wait until NVIDIA brings us Macbeth Part 2. He's back, and he's bigger than ever. All these wonders are so fanciful, so impossible, that we can't really get our heads around them. We don't know enough to use these platforms other than when they're reduced to the almanac of all things that we can query, like ChatGPT. No, Google doesn't need to buy NVIDIA platforms to keep up with Amazon. It needs them because its people can figure out things they can't figure out without them. It's about survival. You get Blackwell or Wither and others like Elon Musk or Amazon's Andy Jassy just surpassed you. You won't catch up. When you think of all these wonders from NVIDIA's technology, you don't sit there and worry about how massively they can beat the estimates in one particular quarter. We can't judge NVIDIA like other companies, so we certainly can't judge its stock by one static quarterly snapshot. The bottom line, I don't want to be picayune. So I say to NVIDIA, let us sing that NVIDIA is excelling. NVIDIA excels each mortal thing upon the dull earth dwelling. To her, let us garlands and upside surprises bring.